In the heart of the enigmatic Caribbean, nestled alongside the emerald embrace of Jamaica, a river whispered ancient secrets to the swaying palms and the shimmering moon. This was the domain of a creature most peculiar, one whose very existence straddled the line between myth and terror. Her skin, a canvas of the night's darkest shadows, blended seamlessly with the water's inky depths. Her straight, jet-black hair flowed down her back, reaching almost to her waist, and it was said that it had the power to weave shadows around her to conceal her from the curious eyes of land dwellers. Her eyes were piercing. Her tail was a mesmerizing blend of yellow and gold scales, a beacon of warmth in the cool waters of the river. The villagers spoke in hushed tones of the Lorelei mermaid, a being whose siren's call lured men to watery graves and whose touch brought forth a tempest of chaos. Yet, amidst the whispers of fear, there was a tale of a different nature, one of a curious little girl named Scarlet, whose fate was intertwined with the dark creatures. Scarlet, with eyes the color of the sky and Rasta hair as wild as the river, lived in the village that is nearby the river Humble. Unlike the others, she was not afraid of the Lorelei mermaid. Instead, she was fascinated by the stories that painted her as both villain and guardian. Each evening, as the village fell into a symphony of night noises, she would sneak to the water's edge, whispering soft melodies to the river. Her curiosity grew into a yearning to uncover the truth behind the mermaid's enigmatic nature. One fateful moonlit night, her persistence was rewarded. As the silvery orb cast its glow upon the rippling surface, the mermaid emerged from the shadows, drawn by the purity of Scarlet's song. The creature's gaze met hers, and in that instant, a connection deeper than the river itself was forged. The mermaid offered a tentative smile, her teeth gleaming like pearls in the moonlight. With trembling hands, Scarlet reached out to the creature, and as their fingers brushed together, she felt a surge of energy, a warmth that seemed to pulse with the very lifeblood of the island. It was a bond unseen in the annals of the village's history, a bond that would soon be tested by the tumultuous tides of fate and the whispers of the enigmatic waters. Each night thereafter, Scarlet would sneak away from her sleeping village, her heart fluttering with a mix of excitement and trepidation, to serenade her mysterious friend. The Lorelei mermaid, it seemed, had taken a liking to the girl's innocent spirit and her sweet, melodious voice. In the quiet solitude of the riverbank, their friendship grew stronger with every shared smile and whispered secret. The mermaid, whose heart had long been shrouded in the shadows of solitude, began to reveal the depths of her kindness. In return for Scarlet's companionship, she would leave enchanting gifts by the water's edge, gleaming seashells filled with precious pearls, coral sculptures that pulsed with an inner light, and once, even a necklace woven from the finest strands of sea kelp, adorned with a single, perfect moonstone that mirrored the night sky. The villagers, though they noticed the girl's newfound treasures, could not fathom the source of her good fortune. They whispered among themselves that she had been touched by the river's spirit or perhaps by a benevolent ancestor, for only the most blessed were said to receive such offerings. Little did they know that their fearsome legend had a gentle soul, one that sought solace in the friendship of a curious child who saw beyond the veil of darkness that surrounded her. Marlin, a wise and venerated elder, had seen the changing tides of the river and the fear that began to spread like a malevolent stain upon its banks. The disappearance of 3 fishermen, all vanishing without a trace on moonlit nights, had the villagers trembling with dread. They spoke in hushed whispers of the Lorelei mermaid's vengeful song, heralding doom for those who dared to cross her path. Summoning the villagers to the heart of the village, where a large wooden table lay laden with maps and ancient scrolls, Marlin called for a meeting under the flickering light of torches and candles. His weathered face, etched with the lines of 1,000 worries, grew stern as he recounted the tales of the missing men. "Her dark embrace is not to be sought," he warned, his voice a solemn rumble that echoed through the gathering. "The river's whispers have turned to screams, and it is clear that she grows restless. Let this be a lesson to us all, venture not by the water's edge alone, especially when the moon holds sway over the night. The Lorelei mermaid's beauty is a disguise for the chaos she brings." Yet, as he spoke, his gaze would often drift to Scarlet, whose eyes remained fixed on the shimmering necklace she held tightly in her hand, a silent testament to the friendship she had formed in the face of their fear. His heart heavy with the burden of his people's safety, Marlin knew that the truth was as murky as the river's depths. But for now, He hoped his words would serve as a beacon, guiding them away from the siren's call that threatened to tear their lives apart. For several nights, Scarlet's dreams had been haunted by the Lorelei mermaid's ethereal presence. In her slumber, she saw them frolicking in the moonlit river, their laughter echoing through the vast, submerged caverns that lay hidden beneath the island's surface. They sang together, their voices weaving a tapestry of sound that soothed the troubled waters and brought peace to the creatures of the deep. They played games of hide and seek among the schools of bioluminescent fish that flitted about like living jewels. They swam with the grace of dolphins, their tails leaving trails of shimmering light in the inky water. But the joy of these nocturnal reveries was tainted by a gnawing sadness. In her heart, she knew that she could no longer visit her friend in the flesh, not without risking the wrath of the suspicious villagers and the accusations that would surely follow. Her thoughts grew tangled with the fear of never seeing the mermaid again, never feeling the warmth of their bond. Then, one night, her dreams took a darker turn. She found herself transformed into a creature of the deep, her legs fused into a tail much like the mermaid's, her lungs filled with the cold embrace of water. Down in the abyss, she saw the wreckage of ships that had succumbed to the river's tempestuous rage, their wooden bones picked clean by the relentless jaws of time. The Lorelei mermaid swam alongside her, her yellow tail now a fiery beacon of anger, her eyes burning with a fierce determination that sent shivers down Scarlet's spine. The dream felt so real that she awoke with a gasp, her heart racing, the cold sweat of fear clinging to her skin. In the quiet of her room, she whispered a prayer to the moon, hoping that their friendship could withstand the storm that brewed above the waters that separated them. One sun-drenched afternoon, as the children of the village played in the dusty streets, their laughter ringing through the air like a chorus of mockingbirds, Scarlet found herself once again the object of their cruel taunts. They had caught her speaking to the seashells that adorned her neck, whispering sweet nothings as if they were the ears of her secret confidant. The taunts grew louder, the chant of Scarlet the Weirdo echoing through the village like a relentless drumbeat. Tears stung her eyes as she felt the weight of their ridicule, heavier than the necklace she now clutched to her chest. With a broken heart, she turned and ran, her bare feet kicking up clouds of dust as she fled the cacophony of laughter. The river, her sanctuary, called to her, whispering words of comfort and solace that only it and the Lorelei mermaid knew. The moon had already begun its ascent, casting a silver path across the water, a beacon to guide her in the night. Her chest heaving with sobs, she reached the riverbank and flung herself onto the soft grass, the coolness of the earth a stark contrast to the fire of embarrassment that burned within her. She wept, her tears mixed